Good morning, nerds. It's good to see you. Let's go ahead and get our desk set up. You're going to need your notebook, your reading and writing handbook, and something to write with. A couple of classroom updates. So as you can see, we're now tracking attendance via our discussion post. After 8:40, if you have not responded to our discussion post, you will be considered absent for class. Grade-wise, you will continue to receive your mixture of mastery and completion grades. And in the criteria for success slide, I will continue to tell you which of those assignments will be mastery and which of those will be completion. However, I'm more excited to talk about Zoom. Zoom is an online platform where we'll be able to have real face-to-face seminar virtually in real time. It's like FaceTime for our laptops. You'll have a chance to practice using that technology today. If you click the link during our exit ticket block, it will bring you to my Zoom classroom. You can stop by, ask questions about today's lecture on sonnets. You can stop by and say hi, or you can just stop by and make sure your tech is working. What's important to know about any time you're logging into Zoom is that you are always dressed appropriately and your surroundings are always appropriate as well. If you have any questions about what might be appropriate or not, just put on your gym t-shirt or a plain t-shirt and have a blank background behind you. Now, when you logged in this morning, you also saw a new streamlined Schoology. When you open the folder, you will always see the flow of the day. Attendance, which is usually our discussion post, will be first. You'll also then be able to click any applicable links that you'll need to have open to be successful throughout the course of the class, including seminar, notes, and even our exit tickets. Your criteria for success today. Again, making sure that you have logged on and respond to that discussion question by 8:40 for your attendance. Your completion grades will be your lecture notes today, and your mastery grade that will go in will be your lecture exit ticket due at 9:30 today. Now, in order to show mastery on this lecture exit ticket, you will need to have completed thoughtful notes. So please make sure that you're setting up your notebook when I'm asking you to do so and taking copious amounts of notes. So let's get started. Let's set up our notebook. Today's title is going to be Sonnets, and we're going to be focusing on just two. That is going to be the Elizabethan and the Italian sonnet. Please pause here and take no more than 2 minutes to make sure your notebook looks exactly like mine. All right, so the two sonnets we're going to be talking about today, again, will be the Elizabethan and the Italian. Now, the Elizabethan sonnet is also known as the Shakespearean sonnet. And that was because when Shakespeare wrote all 154 of his sonnets, he wrote most of them under the reign of Queen Elizabeth. And the same with the Italian sonnets. The Italian sonnets known as Petrarchian sonnets. And this is after Petrarch. He was considered, to some, the father of the Italian Renaissance. And so we call those poems, or those sonnets, the Italian sonnets. Now, sonnets are known for having a very specific form, and that is 14 lines. And those 14 lines usually follow a strict rhyme in structure. We're going to be talking about two of those today. Now, before you pause and get these notes down, it's extremely important you pause this video only when I ask you to do so. There are some things I'm going to say that aren't in the slides that I'll need you to be able to get down. So again, only pause this video when I ask you to pause. So right now you should be writing notes on Italian sonnets, picking up on any key phrases that I may repeat. So since the sonnet was born in Italy, let's begin there with the Italian sonnet. When you're thinking of the Italian sonnet, it's important to note that it's basically split into two halves. You have the first half, which is the 8-line stanza, also known as an octave. Zoom in on OCT, oct, and that will let you know 8. And so the first stanza, the octave, usually describes the problem or the question. And then it's followed by the second stanza, which is a sestet, a 6-line stanza. Now, the sestet usually provides a resolution or a solution to the problem or question posed in the octave. When the sonnet shifts and this is usually around line 9. That is called the volta. So again, when you see a shift from the problem to the solution in the Italian sonnet, that's called the volta, and that's usually around line 9. At this point, please pause the video here and copy down any notes you need on the Italian sonnet. Right, so we are going to pause here for just a moment. And again, make sure you've copied and captured all notes, and you can tell me what a volta is. And then I just wanted to shout out my period 2, working hard away is what I'm imagining you doing right now. All right, so again, to just sum up what we talked about in part 1, and again, this is my second time saying it, and you should have also written it down. Please note that poets in many different eras have been able to make use of the formal structure of a sonnet to emphasize their theme. Now, we did that with the Italian sonnet. We're going to see that now in the Elizabethan sonnet, also known as, that's right, the Shakespearean sonnet. So again, don't pause this video just yet. So the Elizabethan sonnet was really inspired by the Italian sonnet to begin with. This sonnet, much like the Italian sonnet, also consists of 14 lines. However, it's important to note that it differs in structure. So while the Italian sonnet was 2 stanzas, the octet and the sestet, what we see here is something a little bit different. The Elizabethan sonnet has 3 quatrains and a couplet. When we think about quatrains, thinking about quattro like 4. So it has 3 stanzas of 4 lines, and then a couplet, like a couple, the 2 line at the end. So in Shakespearean sonnets, again, you have the 3 quatrains and the couplet, and you might not necessarily see the volta, again, that shift in line 9, but instead you'll usually see the shift around line 12 or in the couplet area. Please pause here and get down any notes on the Shakespearean, also known as the Elizabethan sonnet here. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, I am now going to be opening up the Zoom link for you to contact me. You should only do this after you have reviewed your notes and you still cannot tell the difference between an Italian or Elizabethan sonnet. You should also click the link if you need to practice making sure that your tech is working for seminar, or if you just want to say hi to me or any of your other peers. As always, be safe, make sure your notes are on point, and then you can head over to the exit ticket when you're ready. See you tomorrow.